So I took Zach, and I knew he couldn't do much, but I thought I'd at least push him in one of those baby swings. And we got there, I put him in, and the first push, he could not even sit in that baby swing. He didn't have enough torso or neck support to sit there, and I went home in tears.
Natalie Mackey on the left is the executive director. Her inspiration comes from her 17-year-old son, Zachary, who has dealt with a progressive neurological disease.
So we went out on vacation and we saw a playground like what we've created here. We saw a playground that had poured-in-place surfacing, that had ramps from the bottom all the way up to the top. And Zach played and interacted with children like he had never, ever done before. He had kids come up and ask him questions, and it stimulated conversation throughout the playground about why Zach was different. And we loved that. We wanted to educate those kids to know that he is just like every other child. His body is just different than theirs.
And it was on those playgrounds that allowed kids of all abilities to play together.
We have a tagline that we use that I've loved throughout the years, and it's where limitations are forgotten and differences are celebrated.
I really want people to like me how I am.
See more playgrounds like this in as many communities as possible.
On a weekly basis, we're contacted from families just like ours wanting to provide a playground for their child to play.
Unlimited Play has built 20 playgrounds over the last 15 years.
We've imagined this day for 4 years.
Without your help, it wouldn't be possible.
We dedicate this playground to Zach.
Nothing but full support anytime we've asked.
Mayor, you are my hero and my friend. Now let's play!
We encounter superheroes every single day.
For such an incredible crowd of people that have given so much.
Truly created a place where, for a moment, we can forget all the limitations he faces and just let him be a child.
A photo never tells the whole picture.
So when Jake was just a little guy, not even 2 years old, he used to follow his brother around. Following him playing baseball, swinging the wiffle ball bat, kicking the soccer ball, taking the hockey stick, and shooting pucks. But we noticed early on that he just wasn't really developing right, so we took him to the doctor, and they took some tests, and a few weeks later they called us back into his office, and the doctor said, "Your son has muscular dystrophy."
You'd never know from these snapshots, for instance, that Jake Vollmer was born with a deadly disease.
By the age of 10, he's going to be in a wheelchair, and life expectancy is in the late teens.
When he was just a toddler, Jake was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, the most severe form of MD.
Which completely rocked our world, hearing that, not knowing anything about it. And then the big thing was, gosh, how am I going to tell my son that he's not going to be able to play sports like all the other kids? That's already, you can tell he's dreaming about playing sports.
Instead of getting stronger, the disease causes muscles to get weaker as you grow.
But we were able to put him in the parish baseball team. That's when we kind of noticed a whole different spirit about Jake. All the other kids were cheering for their team, but Jake was cheering for both teams. So he would sit on the bench with his little legs kind of dangling, and the other team would hit the ball, and he would applaud them. And when it was his turn to bat, if he hit the ball and he got out, he would actually tell the first baseman and applaud for the other team. And so at that time, we just, gosh, there's really a special spirit about Jake. Had this incredible passion for sports and for other people, and concerned about everybody else but himself. That spirit just kept growing and growing, and we just didn't know where that was going to lead. But
we first met Jake when he was just 8 years old at MDA camp.
Are you guys troublemakers?
Yes.
At the time, he could still walk and even run, but soon after, reality hit home.
We then moved him to the Spirit League, where it was kids with disabilities. At that point, he was about 8 or 9 years old. And it wasn't really an official kind of game, but they would hit the ball and run the bases, and most of the time the kids would run around the bases and everybody hit a home run essentially. Well, Jake loved to stop at first base, and he wouldn't take the home run. He would sit there and talk to everybody, talk to the first baseman, and whoever hit the ball would pass him up and go all the way around to home, but he would stop and talk. We had just ordered his wheelchair, And he knew that the chair was coming any day, and once he was put into the chair, he wasn't going to be able to walk again. But that didn't slow him down. So his last game in the Spirit League was his last at bat, and this time he hit the ball, and he didn't stop at first. He continued on, but he continued to fall, and he'd pick himself right back up. He would run to second, get to second, boom, he'd fall down again, and he just kept going, and everybody's like, what is he doing? He normally stops. And he got to third base, and he fell down again, and boom, he'd push himself back up. It took every ounce of strength for him to push himself back up, and rounded third, and fell down a couple more times, but he made it all the way to home. And he slid headfirst into home, and I ran over and picked him up, and all he could say is, "Dad, was I safe?" And I said, "Yeah, buddy, you were safe, all right." But a spirit like that was really incredible.
Fast forward to 2012 and meet 19-year-old Jake Vollmer.
Okay, exit the swing.
The high school graduate and St. Louis Cardinals fanatic. His goal, to one day be a sportscaster for his favorite team.
So Jake had so many dreams. He was such a dreamer, and it all was focused on sports. And he wanted to be a broadcaster, and he was a true 100% die-hard Cardinal fan, as much as any Cardinal fan could ever love the Cardinals.
Do you have like a favorite player on the Cardinals?
Freeze.
You like Freeze the best?
So the Wednesday, he was able to go to the Cardinal game, which he loved to do. It was really an incredible day for him.
It's one thing to have a favorite player, it's another thing to get to meet him.
How you doing? I'm David.
That's Freeze.
With the help of the Cardinals, we arranged a day for Jake to watch batting practice, get some autographs.
What's your name?
Jake.
And meet the World Series MVP.
There it is. Ready?
Jake told me it was a great day. Just 2 nights later, Jake quietly, peacefully passed away in his sleep. There is no cure for muscular dystrophy, but Jake fought it with courage and grace. And though he died still a student, he taught us all a lot. Hope for tomorrow, but live for today.
The day that Jake passed away was the most difficult day of our life. What we thought we lost that spirit, but as we ventured into this project of Jake's Field of Dreams Playground, we found a way to recapture that spirit. And
volunteers, charities, and the city all teaming up to create a special place just for kids. It's taken a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of hard work to make it happen.
Couldn't have done it without the sponsors and the community and individuals. Outpouring of love is what has transpired into Jake's Field of Dreams Playground.
So now we have Jake's Field of Dreams, the Taj Mahal of playgrounds.
I think we did our best to capture that spirit.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. And may you stay forever young.
So now that the playground's open, I go out there and I spend time and I watch all the kids and I hear the laughter and the joy and I feel and I hear Jake's spirit on the playground. We can't thank everybody enough for keeping Jake's spirit alive, and we hope that that spirit carries over to everyone's families and they treasure every moment they have with their kids, because we certainly did.
There are hundreds and hundreds of children that will need to play in this particular kind of park. It's not just a regular swing set for them.
There are so many families going through these difficult times like we went through, and having a child with a disability is incredibly difficult. And the need for these playgrounds throughout the country so kids of all abilities can play together and have an opportunity to feel the love of the playground and the spirit of the playground such a need for your support to help continue to develop these playgrounds so kids can, for at least for a short time, play in a playground and forget about their disabilities.
They may not get that same treatment at school, but in that small park, they're safe and they're equal. And isn't that what we want for all of our kids, just to be equal?